Welcome back, friends. Today we are decorating my porch for fall, and the weather has slowly begun cooling down here. The mornings especially lately have been glorious, and I am so looking forward to spending a lot more time outdoors. That said, after a very toasty summer, everything's looking a bit tired right now. I have a handful of plants that didn't make it through the summer heat, others that need grooming. So today I want to spend some time outdoors refreshing our back and front porch for the season. We're going to incorporate some beautiful plants and flowers. There's a fun DIY that I want to do. And then of course we'll decorate for fall. We're actually hosting a brunch with friends tomorrow, so the timing of this couldn't be better. So to get started, let's head to Lowe's, and a big thank you to Lowe's for partnering with me on today's video. I want to visit their garden center, and then there are a few other bits from there that we need as well. So let's head to Lowe's now, see what we can find. I know that they're running their Labor Day sale right now on mums, perennials, and a ton of other things as well, so the timing for this is perfect. Okay, back home from Lowe's, and we found so many fun things. Let me show you. Found these mums that were 2 for $10. You can tell they've already started to bloom, but they're about to be so full of color. A lot of their perennials were on sale 2 for $10 as well, so I picked up these Arizona apricot blanket flowers. Just look at how pretty that is, and to me that just screams late summer, early autumn. And the cone heads look really cool after they've bloomed out too. Then they had a bunch of these little mums that were, I think they were either 4 for $10 or 5 for $10. Either way, a great deal. I got a couple of this plum color and then a few of the rust. I got another of those blanket flowers. This one kind of mirrors the color of the mums. And I just love some deep purples and greens for fall. These are Palace Purple Coral Bells. I feel like the color, the texture on them is just perfect. And the last plant I picked up was this cordyline, and I thought it would just be a nice kind of switch up when it comes to color and texture. Got these beautiful broad leaves with a hint of pink. Okay, then other bits that I picked up, I got a couple pumpkins. Beautiful one. I just love the little stick detail for the stem. Then this woven one is really cool too. There's something about the shape of it that's just so satisfying. Oh, and I found this cool ornamental corn too. Thought that would look so cool and seasonal styled up. And something else that I really wanted to incorporate into this refresh was to consider lighting, especially in the evening, because I love just a cozy fall evening spent on the porch, outside, and also when we have guests over. It just makes everything feel so cozy when you're walking up to a well-lit home. So I picked up a few things just to make our space feel just a bit more magical in the evenings. I got 2 of these all-weather wax candles to go in some of the lanterns that I already have. The ones I had in it before melted. I don't think that they were meant for the outdoors. These ones are. It says that they're made out of heat-resistant wax. They're designed for the outdoors. They actually even have a dusk sensor, so they'll come on at dusk, stay on for 5 hours, and shut off, which is so cool. So I think that these are going to just really do the trick for us. And I think another cool element we can add is these solar spotlights. I got 3 of them, and I think using them to light up the Japanese maple in our front yard would look so cool. And the final couple things that I got were for our DIY project, which I'll walk you through in a second. We just got some matte spray paint and plaster Paris. Oh, and I almost forgot, this is another great deal I found. Of course, we're going to need to pot everything up, so I found 2 of these giant bags of potting mix. I think they were 2 for $16. So that's everything that I picked up while I was out. So happy with all of our finds, and I have to say too, the staff at Lowe's was just so helpful, directing me towards exactly what I was looking for. So big shout out to them. If you're interested in anything that I picked up today, I will have it all linked up for you in the description box below. Of course, I was in store shopping today, but they also have free order pickup, free shipping on orders of $45 or more, even have same-day delivery. So many ways to get the really well-priced items that you need. So take advantage of that Labor Day sale. It's running now through, I believe, September 4th. Okay, but now let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to begin with just freshening things up, grooming some of the dead leaves and branches off of my plants, as well as removing some of the plants that just hadn't made it through the summer. I feel like every season that I garden in this space, I really am getting a better feel for which plants do tend to thrive, to look good all season, and which tend to struggle through the summer heat or succumb to pests. So some made it, some didn't, but to me, it's really all just a learning experience. And then once the plants were in better shape, I also took some time to wipe down everything to remove some of the plant debris that had built up over the summer. This porch is already looking so much better. It feels great to have everything cleaned up, to have removed all of the plants that were looking just a little bit worse for wear. Now we get to move on to the fun stuff. So what I want to do next is a little DIY to make some of our terracotta pots look a bit more textured and aged. This DIY is something that I've wanted to do for a while, and with fall quickly approaching, it felt like the perfect opportunity to do it. I've always loved the look of aged black ceramics, so wanted to recreate that look. So I just selected a handful of pots from my collection and then spray painted them all black. You can just use any matte black spray paint, but I really like this Magnolia Home one. While that dried, I just got the rest of my paint ready. I just used a handful of different shades of gray acrylic paint that I'd had from previous projects, as well as some dirt, which I'll show you how I use that in a second. But I just poured each paint color into their own individual bowl and then mixed in some plaster of Paris. You want to combine them to create a paste-like consistency. Then once the spray paint had mostly dried, I just went in and painted the mixture onto the pots. I just went around each one, spreading the mixture on horizontally and using a combination of all the different gray colors. The key with this is you really don't want to be too smooth or too perfect with it. Some texture, some dimension is really what gives these that feeling of character, so it's okay if it's a bit messy. And again, I gave our pots an opportunity to dry before going in with the final step, which is rubbing a bit of dirt on the outside of the pots. This just further helps give them that aged feeling, like they've been used and loved for years. I hope to have them kind of gain some of that natural patina over time, but this does kind of help visually speed up the process. Alright, well, let's just give those a bit of time to dry, and while we do, we can go ahead and plant some of the flowers in the garden. I think that especially those beautiful yellow flowers would look beautiful in our front landscape. And we can also pot up some of the bits that are going to go on the porches. Love the addition of these on either side of the driveway. What a fun pop of color. Just give them a little drink of water. That's 1, 2, and that's right by the porch. So fun for fall. Then once I'd finished up with the planting and while I was still out front, I figured I'd take a couple of seconds to place our solar lights. They were really easy to set up, and I'm excited to see them lit up at night and just to have them add a little ambiance to the space. Then I got back to gardening, spent some time potting up all the flowers, having fun pairing the various flowers and pots together. I found that some of them really suited the terracotta pots, while others, especially the coral bells, just popped and looked so good with the black pots. The combination of both made for a nice contrast. Well, we've got everything all potted up and ready to go. It looks so beautiful. So now let's spend a few minutes placing these around the porch, and then we can decorate for fall. Okay, but then once all the plants were placed, it was time to freshen up the porch and start decorating. I began with grooming a handful of plants that needed it, giving everything a very thorough sweep and wipe down. Then I added in these lanterns with our new candles and set them to the dusk setting so they'll come on in the evening as it gets dark outside. I think that's going to be just a very friendly and cozy addition to our front porch. Then for a little pop of color, I added in our mums, the braided pumpkin, and swapped out our spring wreath for a basket of flowers. I love how this looks. Adds a bit of whimsy, a bit of romance to the space. All the little pops in here just make it feel so welcoming. Then for the back porch, we already added in a lot of color with the plants, but to help enhance that autumn ambiance, wanted to add in a handful more touches, added in a blanket for some extra texture, and repeated some of those similar elements that we had in the front. Well, you guys, this space really is just looking so beautiful and ready to welcome autumn to you now. Let me take you on a quick tour and show you everything that we did. Alright, well I hope that you enjoyed coming along with me as we refreshed and decorated my front and back porch for autumn. I really hope that this maybe gave you some decorating inspiration or even just motivation to refresh things, whether it's your porch, your garden, just your outdoor space, so that you can really make the most of and enjoy the cooler temperatures that are on the horizon. I know that I am so looking forward to them. Before I go, I did just quickly want to remind you that if you're interested in the plants, the products, the DIYs, anything that I mentioned today, I will have all of the information, all the details linked up for you in the description box below. So be sure to check that out. But now I'm going to enjoy a lovely, we should have the sun setting here pretty soon. I'm going to enjoy that and just a peaceful evening in this beautiful space that we've created. So I will see you friends in the next one. Love you all so much. Hope that you're well.